The wrong floor. James has a new job. He works in a tall office building in the city. The building has many floors. It has glass doors, bright lights, and fast elevators. James is excited, but he is also nervous. "This is my first week," he says. "I must not make a mistake." On Monday morning, James wakes up early. He puts on a clean shirt. He puts on a blue tie. He brushes his hair. He looks in the mirror. "You look like a good worker," he says to himself. Then he looks at the clock. Oh no, it is 8:10. James must be at work by 9 o'clock. He runs to the bus stop. He gets on the bus. The bus is full. James stands near the door and holds his bag. The bus moves slowly. "Please go faster," James says quietly. A woman near him looks at him. "The bus cannot hear you," she says. James smiles. "I know," he says, "but maybe it can feel my worry." The woman laughs. At 8:53, James gets off the bus. He runs to the office building. He enters the lobby. The security guard smiles. "Good morning," he says. "Good morning," James says quickly. James runs to the elevator. The elevator doors open. Many people go inside. James goes in too. A woman presses button 7. A man presses button 12. James wants floor 10. But the elevator is crowded. He cannot reach the buttons. "Excuse me," James says. No one hears him. "Excuse me," he says again. Still, no one hears him. The elevator stops at floor 7. Some people get out. The elevator stops at floor 9. More people get out. James looks at the numbers. Then the elevator stops at floor 10. Ding! James tries to get out, but a man with a big box blocks the door. "Sorry," the man says. James moves left. The box moves left. James moves right. The box moves right. The doors start to close. "Wait!" James says. But the doors close. The elevator goes up. Floor 11. Floor 12. Ding! The doors open. Everyone gets out. James gets out too. He looks around. The hallway looks very nice. There are white walls, glass doors, and green plants. James looks at his watch. It is 8:59. "Oh no," he says. "I am late." He sees a sign on a door. Meeting room A. James has a meeting at 9 o'clock. "Good," he says. "I found it." He opens the door and goes inside. There are 8 people sitting at a long table. Everyone looks at James. James smiles. "Good morning," he says. A woman at the front of the room smiles back. "Good morning," she says. "Please sit down." James sits in an empty chair. He opens his notebook. The woman starts to talk. "Today, we will talk about the new fish tank design." James looks up. "Fish tank?" The woman points to a picture on the wall. It is a large glass tank with fish inside. James blinks. His company does not make fish tanks. His company makes computer programs. Maybe this is a special project, James thinks. The woman continues. "The fish need clean water. The glass must be strong. The light must be soft." James writes in his notebook. Fish, water, glass, light. He does not understand, but he wants to look serious. A man next to him whispers, "Are you new?" James nods. "Yes, very new." The man smiles. "I can see that." The woman at the front looks at James. "What do you think?" she asks. James freezes. "What do I think?" he asks. "Yes," she says, "about the fish tank." James looks at the picture. He looks at his notebook. He looks at the people. Then he says, "The fish should be happy." Everyone is quiet. Then the man next to him laughs. "That is true," he says. The woman smiles. Yes, happy fish are important. James feels a little better. Then the door opens. A young man comes in. He looks at James. Then he looks at the empty chair. "Excuse me," the young man says. "I think that is my seat." James stands up quickly. "Oh," he says. "I am sorry." The young man looks at James's name tag. "Are you from this company?" he asks. James looks at the name tag. It says, James Park, TechSoft Office, Floor 10. The young man points to the wall. "This is Aqua Home Designs," he says. "Floor 12. James looks at the wall. There is a big picture of a fish. James feels his face become hot. "Oh no," he says. "I am on the wrong floor." The people at the table smile kindly. The woman at the front says, "That is okay, but thank you for your idea about happy fish." James closes his notebook. "I must go," he says. "My computer meeting is probably very unhappy." Everyone laughs. James runs out of the room. He runs to the elevator. He presses the button many times. Come on," he says. The elevator doors open. James jumps inside. A woman in the elevator looks at him. "Bad morning?" she asks. "Wrong floor," James says. She nods. "That happens." "Does it?" James asks. "No," she says, "but I wanted to be kind." James laughs. The elevator stops at floor 10. James gets out. This hallway looks different. There is a blue wall, a small coffee table, and a sign that says, TechSoft Office. James smiles. "Yes," he says. "This is my floor." He walks quickly to meeting room B. He opens the door slowly. His manager, Ms. Lee, is talking. Everyone turns and looks at James. James stands at the door. "I am sorry I am late," he says. Ms. Lee looks at the clock. "It is 9:12, she says. James nods. "Yes." "Was there a problem?" she asks. James takes a deep breath. "Yes," he says. "I went to the wrong meeting." Ms. Lee waits. James says, "On the wrong floor." The workers look at him. James says, "With the wrong company." Now everyone smiles. Ms. Lee asks, "What company?" James says, "A fish tank company." The room becomes quiet. Then one worker laughs. Another worker laughs. Soon everyone is laughing. Ms. Lee smiles. "And did you help them?" she asks. James thinks about it. "Yes," he says. "I told them the fish should be happy." The whole room laughs. Ms. Lee points to an empty chair. "Sit down, James," she says, "and welcome to floor 10. James sits down. He opens his notebook. At the top of the page, he sees the words fish, water, glass, light. He quickly turns the page. Ms. Lee talks about the computer program. James listens carefully. This meeting is about computers. No fish, no water, no glass. Good. At lunchtime, James goes to the elevator with his coworker, Eric. Eric points to the buttons. "Do you know which floor has the cafeteria?" Eric asks. James looks serious. "Yes," he says. "But first, is there a fish tank company there?" Eric laughs. "No." "Good," James says. "Then I can go." They get into the elevator. Eric presses button 2. James watches carefully. Floor 2, he says. Cafeteria. Eric nods. Floor 2. James takes out his notebook and writes, Floor 10 is work. Floor 2 is lunch. Floor 12 is fish. Eric looks at the notebook. You are writing that down? He asks. Yes, James says. I respect the elevator now. Eric laughs. That evening, James goes home. His sister calls him. How was your new job? She asks. James smiles. It was good, he says. Did you learn anything? Yes, James says. I learned that computers are on floor 10. His sister is quiet. Then she asks, And? James says, And fish are on floor 12. Did you enjoy this story? Be sure to like and subscribe for more fun stories.